Hello everybody, welcome to your daily pop of positivity. I'm out in my yard with moonbeams, might make a little trek over the carts because I'm looking at her and she looks like she's getting ready for mischief. I hope y'all are having a good day. Oh my goodness, today was Hagen's last day before his graduation, so they had their practice, their secondary practice today. It was really cute. They had ice cream trucks out along the school that the seniors could go get an ice cream after the practice. It was really, really sweet. And just the weather right now is unbelievable. There's hardly any wind. The birds are out and it's like in the 70s. It's beautiful. So I rediscovered my gorgeous language of flowers that I had hidden away, and I thought they'd be perfect for today. So we're going to start with sunflower. Assertiveness. Rise up and stand stronger and true. I love this because this reminds me of a whole myriad of things that benefit us, right? In terms of assertiveness, that's our boundaries. We need to assert what our boundaries are, so we don't have people pushing in and leaning in all the time, and also that we don't have to always feel like we have to answer, produce, and go. We can relax. This can be in work situations, this can be in home and also in friend situations, anything like that. We have to remember, compassion for ourselves and others, super important. I feel right now there's so much beautiful magic and wonder taking place, and when we really invite that awe-inspiring magic into our life, our connection to the earth grows deeper, appreciate all the natural miracles in the universe. And when we're focused on all this good stuff, it's like we know when things are awry or we need to ask for what we need to. Oftentimes, people don't like to rock the boat. They don't like to step up or step into their power. But oftentimes you can stay in the same position at work for months and months and months and years, where had you just really stepped in your power and said, listen, I really want to try for the next level. I want to, see how I operate in this department, whatever it is. And this is really great, this particular card. And I feel like a lot of creatives have this in the acting field and, voice acting, stage, and all that performance stuff. When you just go out there and assert and own it, and own that little plot of land, and just show up your true authentic self, it's a lot easier to be assertive when we are our natural authentic self, because we're saying what we truly like, what truly interests us. And I feel like that's important in a lot of areas. Dates as well. When you're dating somebody, assert what is kind of like crossing the line, what isn't of interest to you. If somebody says something that's off color and off-putting, assert yourself. I love that. And picture plant, insight. The answers are there for those who look. 100%. And my number one thing to find this is to slow down. I'm quite speedy and I like to get things done, and I oftentimes will find when there's appointments, especially racing the clock, and I miss all kinds of things. But my insights are there for the most part when I stop and I'm still, when I call a halt to whatever else is going on around me, and I really hone in on how I feel, because that's where I gain insights. Is my heart beating fast? Do I feel like a little tentative about the situation? Do I feel totally relaxed in the energy of this person? Wherever it is, our insights come to us when we slow down and put the brakes on a little and stop rushing. That's when a lot of messages and intuition is at its richest too, when we just kind of slow our roll. Like, I'm in a totally different gear when I'm outside. I go out, and I usually just go out in bare feet, and I sit down, smell the air, look around. I gain a lot of insights. Like, I realize how really fluid and drawn out time can be when we create it that way. And I had a really, really nice insight last night. I'm like, I want to spend a little bit of time with, Hagen and Ian. We all tend to go in our own directions and do our own little things a lot of times after dinner. And I thought, I really like watching programs with him. And Jeremy, I forget his last name, but he does Top Gear. He has a new program where he's trying out farming, like on an epic level. He buys a ton of property in the Cotswolds, and he does all these unique things, and he learns how to farm. He learns how to bring insects that are really, really important to the land, and he creates this landscape, and he works really hard. And I know that both of them really, really like him, and Ian had watched this previously and said I wanted to watch it again. So I just slowly put it on the TV and I sit down, and then I realized, oh, Ian's right next to me and then Hagen's on the couch, and we spent hours together watching it and laughing. It was really, really nice. And that's sort of when I slow down, when I get insights onto how to attract what I want and how to create an atmosphere that I want. All of that, we have to think, what are other people interested, and feel like, how would they feel in this environment, right? All of that. So let's look at the Peruvian lily. Strength, more effort will get you what you want. I believe this is really true. And I like this strength too, I believe, is like perseverance, which to me is like a concentrated effort for a certain amount of time in order to get the results. This is big when it comes to wanting physical changes in our body, right? Yoga, stretching, we really want flexibility. We really want to feel good about how, our joints are working. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, just today I was walking, and comment down below if any of you guys have experienced this. My knee just had this weird pain, like my knee didn't want to walk anymore. There might have been a situation if I kept going. And so I started to massage it and stretch it and just did like a little bit of Reiki on it, and it started to feel better. But again, it's like, I know I need to build strength in those areas of my body. I love to walk and hike and go through the woods, so I can do gentle exercises that do this. But this is definitely, when we have sustained effort in something, we can build muscles, we can build flexibility, all of that, changing our diet. But also, I like this for mental strength, because I really have to retrain myself in certain areas. I am not it's so funny, Merlin is just flying over my head in circles and cawing so loudly. And weird fact, and I mean, this is going to freak you out unless you already know this, I did not realize this. Hagen and Ian and I were watching that farm show, and apparently if baby lambs get separated from their parents, the crows will attack them and like legit pluck out their eye. I know this is a pop of positivity, but I didn't know that. And I was like, what? Because it's so weird when we have a certain affinity with certain animals, and they're like, they're like our buddies. We're like, you wouldn't really do that, would you? And it was so strange, all the little things I learned on this program. There was animal husbandry. There was all kinds of really cool stuff. And the neatest thing that I saw was, I didn't know about, was lambs can only sustain the birth of 2 children at once. They only have 2 workable kind of like udders that work. A third one will deplete the mother. It'll be too much. The mother will neglect it. So if mothers gave birth to one, what they would do is they take the third one from another, and they bring it over, and they take the placenta from the first and rub it all over the third child of another one, and then bring it to the mother who only had a single one. And since it was her placenta and the baby was brought to her and laid in front of her, she would assume it was hers, and she would care for it. And all that's great stuff, and I just love that. Yeah, I think it's called Jeremy does farming or something. I'm going to put a shot on my Instagram, because it's so entertaining and it's so educational and fun, and I love it. And it's just such a conversation piece, because there's a lot of really cool facts you'd never know unless you are a farmer. Like the sheer tonnage of food that can be withdrawn from a field. I think he said something like he had 6 to 12 tons of potatoes in this one field. I'm like, a ton? 1 ton would be a lot, but when you're like 6 or 12 tons, it's just incredible. It was really, really neat. But I like this too, because it reminded me of that, because he had so much perseverance to do this in farming. As people know, you're up at the crack of dawn. You have animals to feed and water, and you have to get and when you plant certain crops, you have so many days to get it in and yield those crops, because they are, whatever the season is going to be that sustains and helps and nourishes those crops, is very limited window, so you have to work within that. And I thought that's something that's absolutely amazing, and I'm always amazed by that. Now let's choose one more, because I love this card. Statis is adaptation. Change will be better than you think. We are creatures of comfort, and we do like to know what's kind of coming around the corner, but this is really healthy in adapting to, it could be wherever. If you move to a new environment, if you move to a new job, if you are, a lot of people are cycling up spiritually right now. They have new understandings, they're more patient, but it does take effort. And I feel like adaptability is everything, because when we do that in a social situation, guess what? We get on with a varied group, and there isn't friction and there isn't problems, because we realize, hey, they may eat differently or celebrate differently or whatever, but let's try this out. Oh my gosh, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 crows that just all flew over, and it's so funny how you'll see certain birds and they fly in beautiful configurations. Crows forget about it. They just go any which way they want. But we have a little forest, like a couple yards over, and they like to go in the high trees. Okay, so adapt, to adapt to new and change. Like I do this. If you have a teenager, you guys are already adaptable because they'll spring something on you. Oh, by the way, tomorrow you have to go in for the school event. Oh, by the way, I need this. I need to wear these colors to go to this thing. By the way, they spring a lot of things on you. So instead of like, I don't debate or get argumentative and go, oh, you could have told me earlier. That doesn't do any good. You know what I mean? Like I will state something and then just be like, it's no big whoop. And again, I will feel like everything will come and work out with ease. And the more that we feel like that, the more easy we are to adapt. The more we picture something difficult or bothersome, it becomes that way in our head. And I know I used to like lose sleep and get really aggravated if I had a crunched in schedule where I had to like be in the DMV and then I had this doctor's appointment, or and then I worked for a company, or I did this, or I had to be there. Like I don't like appointment schedule, and where you have to like go and do that. But the thing is, we become adaptable when we decide, well, listen, there's nothing else for it, so why don't I get in flow state and just go with the flow? Because everything's only a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, or a day or two, feelings, experiences, whatever. They don't last forever, so let's adapt to whatever that flow state is and what's ever necessary for the day and just go with it. And at all times, try to think of it optimistically, that for, optimum joy. Like, this is going to be cool. I'm going to meet new people when I do this. I'm going to find out what's happening with me physically. I'm going to be able to do this. And oftentimes I'd pepper the day if I had this in between, like do something fun. Oh, I'm going to stop by, the cat. I call it the cat place. It's not actually the cat place. It's like it's the animal pound. They have the dogs and the cats and adoption centers. Go in and see the animals. I'm going to stop in this park and go for a quick walk. So, you make the day be peppered with all these fun little events. Or, hey, I'm going to stop and get a really great iced coffee that I like at this place. Plan and just kind of maneuver in and around things and just be accepting. Because when we're accepting, that's when we're adaptable. And when we're adaptable, we go further with more calm and we get more out of life and we actually learn more, because when we're not fighting it or having lack mentality or being aggravated, we see the beauty and the magic and the light and all the nice things in that, right? All the magic and wonder. So loving that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to upload right now for you guys.